It's the full moon. It's Work It Wednesday, not work it, but shadow work. I don't know who needs to hear this.
Smile on your face, another day. Go, yeah, they say now you're in a better place. And I
talk show about overcoming odds and not giving up and becoming the best humans that we can become. So, and this is Klopz. So welcome in. Everybody show him some love. So I'm just going to jump in if you're good with that. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. First of all, if you guys ever want to hear guitar, amazing. He's always on there with that good scenery playing guitar, so go follow him. Go follow. So I know you have a very big story and it's multifaceted and layered. Why is it important for you to share your story with anyone?
It is one of the craziest never give up stories you're ever going to hear. The things I have and been through, you're not supposed to be here. Trust me, it's bad.
I love it.
You never ever give up.
Yeah, that is the best. That's the best kind of story that helps others not give up. So, I guess we'll do it this way. Take me back to a time that was maybe you would consider it the true initial realization that you were going to go through a huge metamorphosis, that you were going to start changing. Was there a significant
Yes.
event that happened?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so in the early 90s, well, I'll start with signing in the gym. I got my name. I was compared to a Cyclops signing in the gym. We used to sign in with a pen, and this kid was standing next to me, and he goes, "You remind me of the mystical creature Cyclops." And that wasn't my nickname, but I started a drum company years down the road. But I was a bodybuilder in the early 90s, and I was compared to a Cyclops. At the same time, I was training the local people in the gym because I was shredded back then. I was like well under 8% body fat. And to get more clients, I decided, this was in 94, 95, I decided to put on 50 pounds of weight. So I was the first ever in hit to fat and almost not back to fit again.
So just so I understand, so it wasn't muscle that you gained back?
No.
Okay.
So when I put on the 50 pounds, I looked pretty good. I looked really good. And then that's when I met my wife, Sharon, was in 1996. So I turned the gym completely off and I said, let's focus on family. Mm-hmm. Knowing no matter what, I'm going to pull the weight off. I gained well beyond the 50 pounds. It went up to 210 pounds.
That you gained or that you weighed?
Yeah. No. That I gained. I weighed 410.
Okay. And how long of a time frame did that? And were you in your marriage and you were just doing your day-to-day stuff and that everybody gets comfortable?
Yeah. So here's what I did. It was intentional because I started to play guitar and video games to gain the weight. I figured, okay, so I look good with the 50 pounds. I'll keep gaining because I'm well within striking distance of 50 pounds. So I started playing video games and guitar, which that's another story. I decided to keep playing guitar.
Yeah.
So, and then over that period of time, I'm losing friends and family. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm losing my friends and family. And it's because I'm working myself to the grave. It's over,
So you stayed home and you did the guitar and you did video games. Did you have the understanding of what you were doing? Like, did you weigh yourself pretty consistently to where you knew this was happening, or did you kind of fall into what I call like a cave and it just happened?
Okay, the only thing that mattered is I was going to lose the weight. No matter a 410-pound man, then my neck was this big.
Right.
My neck had more body fat on it than a bodybuilder. So, that the only thing was going through my mind is I will pull this off at any time I want, as bad as it looked to the people around me. And that's when I started losing friends and family, because I was just getting to a point where I'm gone.
Right.
It was bad. Like getting out of a car, I can feel the blood pressure just through my body, just getting out of a car.
Yeah, your inflammation always is a huge factor. I struggle with inflammation myself, so I can imagine having that much weight, how that would affect you.
Remember, I was 48 years old, 410 at my heaviest, in a wheelchair. In a wheelchair, so I couldn't stand for more than a 10-minute time frame. Listen to this. I would get out of a car at like a grocery store and immediately start scoping the parking lot for the wheelchair thingies, the little scooters. I'm like, it's over. You're done. It's over.
Yeah. How did your family, your wife, things like that, how did they react? I know you said you were losing people, but what was their response to you and always saying, well, I'll change it tomorrow, or I'll do it tomorrow? Or did they all really deplete and that's what made you change your way?
All right. In my mind, I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because it was terrifying at that point. But I already lost my mom. She said she was writing me out of the will. And then my brother goes, he said I have a serious weight problem, but he got all the money. So he kind of knew beforehand, that he was getting the money because I was gone. It was over. And then my kids got my money. So it didn't matter if I lived. It mattered if I died. And I think I told you this. Then in 2017, 2018, I found out my wife was cheating on me, and it was bad. It was bad. So you're 48 years old in a wheelchair. Who do you have?
How was your mental health going through all of that? Watching
Strong.
people walk away.
Strong.
It was
Strong.
good.
I didn't cry. I wasn't thinking suicide. In fact, I was thinking the opposite of suicide. I'm like, that is the easy way out, and I ain't going that direction.
Yeah.
That is and the guitar. Like, I can't give this up for anything. So,
Yeah. Yeah, music definitely becomes a big outlet for a lot of people. When everything else is gone, there's always music, it seems. So
yeah, it actually, when people come in my live, they tell me it calms them down, it calms their pets down, it relaxes them, stuff like that.
I love
that. Look at that, we're getting gifts. That's cool.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So we have you at 48. You weighed 410 pounds.
At the heaviest.
And at your heaviest. And you couldn't walk for very long. You were losing mobility and you were losing your family. And your wife was having an affair, so you were losing your wife.
Wife was having multiple affairs.
Multiple affairs. Multiple affairs. That's a huge thing. That is a huge thing. So...
Drunk beer and drunk beer. Do you speak?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
So what was the turning point for you at that moment? Did you wake up one morning and say, my wife's having an affair, my family's gone, I'm in a wheelchair, I got to do this now?
Listen, this is crazy. We're all sitting around eating dinner, and I'm sitting there chewing my food, and I look up, and I asked my wife, I go, Sharon, where are the 3-pound green weights, the little plastic weights? She goes, they're in the closet, and just like you would, as if you found a buried treasure, right? I ran into the closet digging out 3-pound green weights. You wouldn't even look at these at the thrift store. You would walk, you wouldn't even see them. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go back to the couch and I'm curling 3-pound weights going, it's time. It's time. And my family's honest, nothing against them, but they're probably going, my dad is cuckoo. What is he doing? Like, what's he going to do? And I'm like, I can't believe it. It's time.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I caught all the bodybuilders on the planet, because I went from if you think about this, you need imagination to see it. I went from 48, 410 to 10% body fat in 3 years. And bodybuilders sometimes go above 10% body fat, making me catching their sport in a 3-year period when they're twice as young as me.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your process on the losing weight? Did you change your diet? Talk to me about what you did. I know exercise is a huge part of it.
Okay, there's 3 elements to weight loss. The first one is your mindset. You have to, when I ran into the closet to find the 3-pound green weights, I got to 10% body fat in 3 years. So you got to flick the switch with your mind. You can't just go, oh, January 1st is in 2 weeks. I can eat my sweet potatoes now and join the gym in 2 weeks. No, that's not mindset.
Tomorrow. It's always tomorrow.
Or today. I didn't wait till tomorrow to go get the 3-pound green weights. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the mindset is number 1.
Okay.
The second one is your diet. You got to go to natural foods. The key is, as the time goes on in the day, if you bite, let's say a brownie, your body won't use it as energy and it gets stored as body fat. So a woman thinks she might, because I understand this sport. Watch this. If you eat like a Big Mac value meal and you gain 3 pounds on a scale, right? Then you decide, well, I'll just starve myself for 24 hours and I lose 5 pounds, right? Yeah. Well, you just lost 5 pounds of muscle and retained the body fat from the Big Mac value meal. Mm-hmm. You see how it works?
Yeah. 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 When you start diving into actual nutrition, I found it very interesting, and it really changes your idea on things. Because I know with some of the things I have to monitor carbohydrates and all those things. And when I learned you could have 14 heads of lettuce or 3 French fries, I was like, stop.
That's exactly right. But that's exactly right, because you're not going to store body fat from your 3 heads of lettuce, and you're going to have a full belly. The 3 French fries, you're going to lose weight and store all the body fat from all 3 of those fries. And you're not going to use any of those fries for energy.
Yeah, it's interesting when you start. And then the whole inflammation thing is huge with food. A lot of people don't realize, and it just plays havoc on your system. So,
and that's number 2 is, let's say you actually can eat in the middle of the night, which I did as a bodybuilder. I was eating 7,000 calories a day, but it can't be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but you can eat a head of lettuce. You know what I'm saying? You can eat a cucumber. You can eat a bag of carrots, all that stuff, fruits and vegetables. If you have to eat in the middle of the night, and even if you gain weight, it'll be water weight in your muscle. It'll be muscle mass.
Yeah, it's so interesting when people start diving into that. So during those, I guess, 2 years, you said 2 years?
3.
3 years. During those 3 years, Was it consistent? Did you become hyper fixated? Did you just know the end goal is what you were going for? Did you weigh yourself
Oh, that's
weekly?
a good question. I in my mind, I was going to go under 10% body fat. So I was going to be ripped, not shredded, but ripped, which is about where Bruce Lee was. And then I'm sitting here riding my bike going, I got the summer ahead of me. I'm going to go under 10% body fat. And I get to closed because the government shut down the country.
Right.
My park, outdoor park. And that's where I get all my miles in. And I'm like, that's when I actually cried. I cried because they destroyed an opportunity for me to prove that I can get to like a 8%, body fat, but I'll never hit it. Never.
Yeah. And so how did you continue exercising and things like that when they shut your park? What did you do?
When they shut down the country, I gained 25 pounds back and I lost some muscle. But when they opened it back up, I was still in the correct mindset. Basically I fell down and got back up, and I just went right back at it, and I pulled off the 25 pounds and got back to 10% body fat.
Nice.
I gained 25 pounds.
Yeah,
But it looked fine on me. It did. It did look fine. If you would have seen me, you wouldn't have noticed. Because a 25 pound weight loss is, once you get to like the 25 and up, then you start seeing the huge results.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Usually you can lose weight and no one notices till you get up there a little bit. So
yeah.
Did you have more people surrounding you, or was this 3 years a very lonely journey to get there?
No, that's a really good question. This is the only opportunity to say this. This is a rare opportunity. Think about it. I'm 410 pounds, and over those 3 years, my community got underneath me, would honk at me, wave. Sometimes they stopped traffic to take pictures. They said I changed every day, and my community got up, and I never gave up because I didn't want to let them down. So they basically held me up the whole time with the cheating wife and the kids about, leaving me and stuff like that, all that stuff. But my community saved my life. They got up underneath me and protected me.
I love that. I love that. Would you say that, and I think that weight is such a sensitive subject, but there's so much to learn about just weight in general. Because there are some people who have diseases that prohibit them from losing some of the weight, literally. And then there's some people who are literally overweight just because they sit and eat bags of chips, or they try to get overweight. And then there's people who are there in the middle. And I know you said your mental health was good, but do you feel like people treated you differently as you were losing weight, say maybe on the dating scene or just people in general versus when you weighed 410 pounds?
In the gym, I had relationships with everybody. There was no problems being overweight. The problem was when I was so fat that going in the gym, it was like the snowball effect. The more weight come off, the more times people heard the story and they could see me changing, they would flock up to me. And then it was almost like I'm reliving my early 30s. I got to relive my early 30s.
Yeah. Did you have anybody think of you or push you away in a negative way because of your weight, or was that more on yourself and the feelings you had?
Remember, it was all it was a planned event. It just got out of control. It was designed to put on weight purposely to take it off. Listen to this. So I lost my family and friends, so I went into the gym. I paced around the front of the car and knowing that, oh my God, I got to do this. So I went into the gym when I signed up, I walked to past a couple of machines. And my friend Todd was there, and I'm old. So I walk up to him and I go, Todd, it's me, Joey. He goes, Halsey? I go, yeah, I'm here to lose the weight. And he goes, dude, if anybody can pull off this weight, it's you. So my family is looking at me when I'm doing the curling in the couch, thinking like my dad's crazy. He ain't gonna do this. He's gonna be dead soon. But my friend from high school knew that I'm capable of pulling off this unbelievable amount of weight.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you find that obviously the more weight that you lose, the better that you feel mentally and physically and emotionally? What has been the best parts for you about losing the weight?
Oh my God, that's a good question. And this is something you gotta remember. The key to weight loss is you can't cheat on your diet during the holidays. This will be number 6 in a row for me. And you're talking, I'm 56 now. That could be 50, 60 pounds just right there.
Right.
If you're a normal person, you know what I'm saying? And you eat them. I didn't eat, and I ate like fruits and vegetables and nibbled on meats and stuff. But that's the key to get you to spring is do not cheat on your diet for the holidays.
Yeah, I think that it's those times where you're like, I'm just going to do it this once. And then you do it, and then you're like, all right, it's fine. I already messed up. And then you end up a month later, and you're like, jeez, what is wrong with me? Yeah, no,
And
I feel
that's a killer. That if you can survive the holidays, even if you gain 5 pounds, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You gain 15, 20 pounds, now you're struggling for spring.
Yeah.
But this will be 6 holidays in a row where I didn't screw up.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm talking no candy for Halloween and no none of the pies and none of that stuff for the holidays. Just mainly my normal diet.
Do you find that now that you've not had the sugar and things like that, sugar is definitely an inflammation thing for me. I can feel it as soon as I eat it. It gets into my system and I can immediately feel the inflammation, but I have an inflammation disease, so it makes sense. But do you feel that you still want those things, or do you feel like you're fine now? You've been doing this so long that it's not something that you feel like you're missing out on.
Okay, so I bought a house in Clearwater, and ever since I moved here, I've been eating chocolate bars every time I go to Publix, and it's getting stored, but I do work out a lot. So if you cut out your sugars, like your candies and stuff, if you eat the bite-sized Snickers, it's going on your hips.
Yeah.
It is not getting it's not getting flushed down the toilet.
Yeah.
It goes on your hips.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Are you a drinker? Did you
No.
drink? Did you drink at all? Okay.
No, never did. Yeah, never did that. That also gets stored.
Yeah, especially
That
beer.
gets stored. Yep.
Beer especially. I tell people inflammation is bad and it stores. Yeah.
Anything unnatural will get the body will take out the water from the beer, right? And whatever else is there gets stored as body fat. And you don't pee out beer; you pee out the water from the beer.
Right. Everything.
Does that make sense? So anything unnatural goes to body fat. So that's why old people have that flab here. That's years and years of salt going in their muscle, and then their muscle shrinks to nothing, and then it's all comes here, which is the water.
Makes it heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. What is some of your favorite parts about you losing weight? Can you tell me, after you lost weight, did all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to go date and I'm going to do this? Did you ever become reckless with it? Like, was it always very well controlled for you? And
yes, I stayed focused because I have you have a disease. I have arthritis, severe arthritis, and the only way to battle it is working out. Yeah. So today I rode my bicycle to Dundee from city to city, and then there's an outdoor gym on the water, and I rode there, worked out, and then rode back.
Nice.
And then went to the real gym after that.
Nice.
So I have to work out.
You have to
no matter what. Yeah.
And do you work out every day?
Every day.
Every
Yep,
day.
every day. You stay active every day and stick to it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
So, and most people can lose, 20, 30 pounds fine. You just got to know what to do.
Yeah.
You got to know what to do.
And stay on it and
Yeah.
stay on it. Stay consistent.
Yeah. Yep.
So, when you were at your heaviest, did you go to the doctor ever and they tell you that you had high blood pressure or anything, or did you just feel it? You just knew?
Oh, I could feel the blood pressure.
Feel.
When I sneezed, I would feel the blood go to the tips of my fingers and burn my hands because it had no place else to go.
Oh, gosh.
And then when it calmed down, then I got the stars in the eyes. Oh, it was bad.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
Yeah, I was gone.
My gosh. So how long has that been from right now when you got to your weight that you wanted to be at?
All right. I was 52. That's a good question. Good question. I was 52 years old on my birthday, and I was maybe 14% body fat, and I placed myself physically in the bodybuilding world.
Okay.
And now I'm 56. So between 52 and 56, right smack in the middle, I caught the bodybuilding world. I got to 10%, and then the COVID hit, and then I started coming back out again.
Okay.
So, but that's a good question.
Because I know this about you, do you mind talking about your house that you bought?
Oh yeah. So if
that's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is why you never give up. If all the doors are bolted shut, you kick them in. You kick all of them in. So if the weight loss journey wasn't enough, at the exact same time, I competed with 200 offers worldwide for the Edward Scissorhands house. So you never give up. And I was the dishwasher for the filming crew back in 1990. And that's how we got the house.
So did you live there?
Very briefly. Yeah, very briefly. Once we closed on the house, it was worth a lot of money. And I used to cry. I'm like, before I got the house, I'm like, get me out of this mess with not being overweight, but, the cheating wife and my kids don't want nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so we closed on the house. I got $100,000 and I bought a house in Clearwater and a Trans Am. I bought a Trans Am too.
I knew you guys would like that. Yeah, the Edward Scissorhands house. I knew they would love that part.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, you never ever give up, no matter what. If something's wrong, you just fix it. That's all. You never give up. I swear, I used to cry, get me out of this mess. I don't want to live with a cheating wife, and I live on the beach now. And I don't cry because I had a cheating wife. I cried because I needed a way out, and most men don't get that way out, Yeah. So if the weight loss wasn't enough, God threw even more on me with the cheating wife. Oh my gosh.
So you had the cheating wife, you had the family who didn't want to be around you. And so you were like, that's it. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to definitely make myself better. And then you were able to buy the Edward Scissorhands house, and you bought what kind of car?
A 75 restored Trans Am. So it's over. Think about it. I'm 4'10" in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I'm crying right in my bike going, dear God, she just won't stop cheating. Listen to this. Let me tell you how bad it was. She was in love with one of the guys across the hall from us, right? And he trusted her so much that he bought a puppy, a little teeny pit bull, and barricaded his door open with his shoe. And when we left, all of us, me, Sharon, and the kids, right? They went to school. She's going to work, and I'm going to the gym. As soon as we opened the door, he let the puppy go, right? The puppy ran in our house because he lived right across the street, and he trusted her so much, knowing that she would not freak out. And when that puppy ran in, he ran in right behind us, and he ran in the house, the guy, and Sharon giggled. And so most women would just be horrified.
Yeah.
Horrified. So I called the police. I actually had jury duty, and I'm driving going, shaking. I'm going, dear God, get me out of this mess.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad. I'm shaking. I turn around, and I call the police. There's nothing they can do because of the puppy. He used the puppy. And and because I had already made complaints to the apartments, they kicked him out. And you know, just to show you how bad it was bad.
Yeah.
And you just don't, like I said, suicide would have been too easy for me.
Yeah, there's too much here on earth for me to do. That would be very selfish if we did that. I get the thoughts. I think everybody has those thoughts on occasion, but I think there's just so much here.
It's too easy.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I have to play my guitar, and if people listen to me, I'm not going to let them down. I'm going to keep playing until it stops. I don't know.
I love it. So what do you do with your life now? Can you talk to us? I know you said you lived on the beach. Can you tell them a little bit about you now and kind of what you do and what your goals, if you have any new goals or anything, are?
Yes. So my training is cut down to a quarter. Basically, I'm in a maintaining mode. Mm-hmm. It's not as intense where it was a tornado daily for 3 years, right? Right. Now it's this. It's about a quarter of what it was. It's a pretty good maintain. I like I said, I eat the chocolate bar, and I freaking love it. I love it. But it's getting stored, you know. Yeah. But I'm trying to work with the city of Clearwater and see if I can take my Trans Am to the pier and play my guitar there and go live on the pier so people can actually video their family or their kids sitting in the car and popping the cassette, stuff like that, and looking at the car. That. Oh yeah, the kids. When you watch someone that's never popped a cassette, they all jump once it pops in there. They go, "Oh my gosh, it is so cool."
I love that. I love it so much. I am such a fan of older cars anyway. So I definitely think that it's something that's worth getting out there and showing. Gosh, some of the kids nowadays don't even know what a CD is.
No, I know. Yeah, we're old. I'm old. I'm old.
My youngest, we bought him a record player for Christmas a couple years ago, and I have a very old one that I have like Stevie Nicks and records like that, but he has like Ozzy Osbourne and all those things. He likes that kind of music, and so he collects all those, but some of them don't know what CDs are. And I look at my grandchildren and I'm like, goodness. You're never going to even know that. And I go back to 8-track. My mom had 8-track.
Yeah, so I take the Trans Am to car shows, and whenever there's like a mom with her kids, I go, if you want to, even some of the moms don't know what the cassette is. So I tell them that they could sit in the front seat and you have to direct them on what to do with the cassette. Oh, it's hilarious.
I love
and then
that.
when it pops in there, they jump. Oh, it's hilarious.
I love that. I love it. So, how do you do anything else? You just play guitar and kind of live your life?
Yeah, I just play guitar, work out, and then I'll ride my bike to the beach, and sometimes I'll go fishing. Sometimes that's cute, the hands.
Thanks, guys.
And then sometimes I'll get off my bike and just lay out for 10 minutes. He got me out of that mess. He really did. I'll never give up. Never give up.
What do you think? What do you think are some of the things that if someone was to re-listen to this later, or say they're in here right now and they're struggling with any part of life, what is something that you want them to take from your story? That way they can keep that within them as something to pull when they're struggling.
My kids, I was a single parent with 2 kids, and I raised them, and they turned on me because they got my inheritance. And that didn't deter me. I still worked out. I did exactly what I was supposed to do, and I got out of that. So no matter what's stacked against you, you know, I couldn't even move. Think about it. If you're just tuning in now, when I got in the parking lot when I was 410, the first thing I would look for is the closest scooter.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, and I came back from that. Now I don't even look at the scooter. When I see people in the scooter, my mind like, I can help that person.
I love that.
I can help that person.
I love
You
that.
just you never give up, and you never give in.
So do you have, for me, this is just how my brain works, because I'm always like, I feel like people go through things and then I feel like they have all this information just stored there within. Like, have you ever thought about writing a recipe book or doing anything like that on any platform to help other people understand really the health and the food and exercise, the whole weight loss journey?
Let me explain. That is such, man, the questions are perfect. When I lost weight, listen to this. No training advice, right? So this is going to start scratching out the people that tell you what to do. No training advice, no supplements, no crazy diets, or any kind of crazy, just all natural foods. No science. There's no science. We're old school, right? So you just go in the gym during lunch. The old lady, the gym will be open during lunch. There you go. That's the best trainer in the world. When you're a kid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No advice, none of that stuff. You go to natural foods, you work out, and that's it. There is no, and it's not overnight.
Yeah.
It's not overnight. It's a lifestyle change.
Recipes. Do you have a Facebook or anything like that with uplifting, or do you do majority on your page guitar? Well,
No. TikTok buries the videos, but there's like lots of really good food videos. I only really do food videos, really good ones. You'll never see me do like a cheeseburger with French fries. It was all like, there's some shake ones. I make the best strawberry banana shake known to man. All natural, all natural.
nice. Well, I love that. Do you have any future plans other than playing guitar and taking your car out? Do you have do you want to get your music out? I know you wanted to get your music out.
Yeah, I would like to help way more people. Maybe not just weight loss, but get them focused on weight loss. That's the key. It isn't the weight. Like I said, it's the switch. If you sit in the chair and you got all these bodybuilders, ripped men around you, and you got to somehow flick that switch. Yeah. And you're in a wheelchair, and I did it. You got to do it. You know, and that's what I think I can get people focused on flicking the switch and getting it going. Like I said, I went from 410 to, listen to this, I went from 410 to 10% body fat in 3 years, placed myself in the bodybuilding world halfway. So that means the average person who needs to lose 50 pounds is 4 months away from that with the right, not an expert, with me. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm always, even though I'm like 12, 13%, this is probably what I look like at 52. I'm in striking distance from any bodybuilder, even though my body fat level is kind of high for them.
Right.
Because I can flick the switch.
I love that. My son does a lot. My son, he lost 100 pounds, and he's very tall. He's probably 6'6" or something like that, 6'5", and he's lost a lot of weight. So he lost all the weight first, and then he started building muscle up, and now he does powerlifting and things like that. And it's crazy for me to see the difference in, one, the mental strength that takes. I know it takes mental strength because I've lost weight myself. So, but the mental strength that it takes just to do that should prove to you that you could do anything.
Yeah. Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. I didn't use free weights. I only used machines. So everything I did to lose the weight is the opposite of what an expert would tell you.
Right.
If like, can you lose 260 pounds with no supplements, no training advice, no free weights, no science, and no diets? And they're going to say, no, you need some of that to lose the weight. No, you don't.
And you're like, no,
No, you
you
don't.
can do it however you want. You just have to stay routine and know what you're putting in your body and move.
Yeah. You can't restore the food, and you have to stay active.
Yeah.
And that's how I did. So
Great. Is there anything else you want to share with us before I open up for questions? Anything that's important or not
no,
important?
you got some perfect questions. I've done this before. Yeah, your questioning was perfect.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. What is your favorite, if you're cooking okay, so let's do this. Now that you are more healthy, we'll say, what is your favorite meal? What is your go-to meal for a healthy meal? Do you have one?
If I want to slip into ketosis, it would be just like I said about the eating at night. I would strictly go to hard-boiled eggs and just bagged fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and then just eat fruit, and then that's what I would eat during the day and at night.
And what is
And
your
if I want-
favorite chocolate? Your chocolate bar, is that your favorite treat?
Yes, I've been eating every time I go to Walmart or Publix, or anytime I get groceries or something, I grab a Hershey's with almonds, the king size. Oh yeah,
The king size. You're like, I take that all. It's mine.
and I'm storing all of it.
Sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes. You'll probably see me in there. I scroll through there frequently whenever he's on there. Does anyone, I appreciate you so much coming on. I love learning stories, and I definitely didn't know all that about you, so I appreciate you sharing that.